Look, it's 2015, and the leading cause of death amongst journalists is still deliberate. It is murder. They are silencing the messenger. They don't want the truth to get out. And we will not stand for that. We will fight back. It is sometimes sad, this event, but it's also unbelievably uplifting. It is so great to hear people like Zunar say that the responsibility is so much greater than the fear. It is amazing to hear Cándido say that this is an insane profession that we love so passionately and we are so devoted to. And particularly the words of Stephen Swartz when he said that journalists, everybody who's been honored tonight, everybody who does this kind of work in the room, journalists are the ones who put their lives on the line in order that others might live. It is as simple and as profound as that. And all the journalists who've been honored here tonight believe that profoundly, obviously. And the person who I'm here to honor tonight and present with the Benjamin Burton Lifetime Award has those kinds of qualities in spades. We trade in truth, integrity, and trust. Those are the commodities that we trade in. And Kathy Gannon has that. This award was named for a legendary director of CBS News, and it recognizes a lifetime of contribution to press freedom. It means a lot to me that this award tonight is going to a frontline reporter who's also a woman who for 2 decades has tracked the turmoil of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Kathy Gannon is an award-winning correspondent. She's an author, and she's a trusted source. She has unbelievable insights into a sometimes impenetrable region. But at heart, she is a wire service reporter. As a correspondent and later regional chief for the Associated Press, Kathy has made it her mission to report the facts. And this is no mean feat on a story which is dangerous, it is complex, and it is spun like so many other stories every which way, in this case, from the Taliban all the way to the Pentagon. As other foreign correspondents dip in and out of Afghanistan and Pakistan, Kathy stayed. She set up a base in Islamabad. She built an extensive, valuable network of contacts, and she gained deep knowledge of the region and of its people. And her book, I is for Infidel, From Holy War to Holy Terror in Afghanistan, that became a primer, an indispensable tool for so many visiting reporters. In speaking here to CPJ staff last month, Kathy gave her vision of journalism. She stressed the old-fashioned values and virtues. Be fair, be honest, and above all, be right. Just stick to the facts, she said. And Kathy put those virtues into practice over the years. She's witnessed the Taliban's surprising battlefield successes and their rise to power in 1996. And let's not forget that in our lifetime, our generation's lifetime, we have reported on the Taliban, which morphed into Al-Qaeda, which morphed into ISIS, and these people are real threats to the world and to us. And Kathy was there at the very, very beginning, documenting the rise of the Taliban and telling anybody who would listen and read what the dangers are. The American invasion, obviously she covered following the September 11th attacks. And maybe it's her Canadian upbringing, but Kathy is modest and she always shuns the limelight. Like all good reporters, she does not believe that the reporter is the story. But it is not always possible, as we've heard so much tonight. So many reporters, through no desire of their own, tragically become the story. And Kathy became the story in Afghanistan, as you know, last year. April 4th, she became the story. She and her friend, her AP colleague, the photographer Anya Niedringhaus, who I first met when we were both young reporters in Sarajevo 25 years ago, were reporting on elections in the province of Khost in Afghanistan. And as they sat in the back of their car, an Afghan police officer walked up and emptied the clip of his AK-47 into the back seat. Anya was killed. Kathy was shot 6 times and she was badly wounded. The cop said that he shot them because they were foreigners. He's now in jail. The attack hasn't stopped Kathy from doing the work that she loves. And despite the pain of multiple surgeries and the grief of losing a friend, she's still writing. And that is the response of a true professional. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me profound pleasure to present the Committee to Protect Journalists Burton Benjamin Memorial Award for Lifetime Achievement in Defending Press Freedom to Kathy Gannon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, and thank you, Christian. Such an honor. I am such a huge fan of yours. Anya was as well, often remembering Christian in Sarajevo, where Anya began her career. You give us all an example to follow, Christian, a goal to strive for. Thank you. Receiving the Burton Benjamin Award is huge for me because it has given me an opportunity to reflect on a career that has been filled with opportunities, people, and places that still takes my breath away, and because it is given by the Committee to Protect Journalists. The CPJ does much, but for me its greatest accomplishment is the voice it gives to the local journalists, the heroes of our profession. As well, the CPJ works together with news organizations to find answers to the difficult question of how to protect staff and freelancers while still getting the news. They also work, chastise, and sometimes even plead with governments to respect journalists. But they are never silent nor silenced when a journalist comes under attack. Just last weekend, another Pakistani journalist was killed, the second this month. Elsewhere, others are being jailed by governments who seek to control the flow of information. The assaults, however, are coming from both the developed and the developing countries. Here in the US, the Justice Department can confiscate telephone records of AP staff in Washington without telling anyone. In this year's annual press freedom ranking, which is put out by Reporters Without Borders, the United States ranked 49 among the 180 countries that are included in its World Press Freedom Index. That put the United States alongside countries like Niger, Malta, and Romania. For me, press freedom is all about the right to do my job and the right of the public to know. It is not about being an advocate, a torchbearer of human rights, or a crusader for some vaguely laid out set of values that is so often linked to the West, as if we have a monopoly on all that is good and right. As journalists, we are champions of the right to ask questions, investigate, understand, and disseminate information. Trust in what people read and hear has eroded, and that threatens press freedom because it is easier to attack, control, and manipulate the press when respect for the institution is lacking. I believe so strongly that the greatest thing we bring to our job is an open mind and a curiosity. Whether it's a poor villager planting his poppy crop, a Taliban, a warlord, a would-be suicide bomber, a president, or a prime minister, it's the why of what they do that interests me. It's spending time with them, talking to them, drinking copious cups of tea, trying to understand them and their story, and then telling it. I love my job. And I have been spectacularly fortunate in my career. I have also drank a lot of tea. For me, good luck and good timing has been as important as good news sense, often more important. When Benazir Bhutto was overthrown in 1996, I got a call early one evening from the AP desk saying there were rumors of a possible coup. And cleverly I said, the rumors are strong, but it won't happen overnight. Sure enough, at 2:30 that same morning, she was gone. Her overthrow came barely 2 months after I had gone to Kabul, just to check things out. It was September 1996, and Ahmad Shah Massoud, who would later be killed by 2 suicide bombers just 2 days before 9/11, was still ruling in Kabul, and the Taliban were on the outskirts of the city, near an area called Policharki. When I arrived in Kabul, all the aid workers were piling into a plane, getting out of town, saying the Taliban were ready to take control of the city. I smiled knowingly and said it could be months, if at all, before the Taliban would take control of Kabul. Turned out I was wrong, again. Sure enough, that was the last flight out of Kabul for the next 2 weeks, and the Taliban were in control of the city by dawn the next day. I tell you, I am grateful every day for so many things, not the least of which is luck. Despite my obviously dodgy new sense, I am so thankful to be able to do what I do, go to the places I have gone, meet the people I have met, and see things that most people can only imagine. Even before the shooting last year, I remember so often getting up in the morning, the first light soft over our back garden, and thinking how really lucky I am. With that in mind, I would like to take just a couple of more moments to say a few thank yous. We talk about the courage shown by journalists, but our job demands strength and courage from our family. I have been blessed with an amazingly loving family, both in Canada and in Pakistan. My husband, who is here tonight, has stood by me with each decision I have made to go to Afghanistan, to Iraq, Iran, Yemen, and even South Lebanon when battle raged between Hezbollah and Israel. He has suffered separation. He still struggles with the fear he felt at the thought that I came so close to death. But he has silenced his pain, stayed strong, been supportive, and helped me focus on the possibilities that tomorrow offers us. He continues to support me as I plan my return to work, to return to Afghanistan, to do those stories I believe need to be done. After last year's shooting, when I came to the Hospital for Special Surgeries here in New York and Dr. Dureti Fufa, I was a mess. At the hospital in Germany, where I was taken from Kabul, the head doctor wanted to write off my left arm. If you were still in Afghanistan, they would just cut it off, he said. But from the beginning, Dr. Fufa gave me hope, and then she gave me movement. After the very first of what would be several surgeries, some lasting 12 hours, she stayed at my side till I woke. By this time, it was 1 in the morning, and she said, I have a plan. It won't be a sprint, it will be a marathon, but we will get there, and we have. And at every step of the way, aside from being a genius at what she does, she has been humble and gracious, always crediting the team. One of the members of the team, my therapist, Emily Altman, who is unable to attend this evening because her father-in-law passed away today, has struggled to re-educate my brain. No easy task, believe me. She has massaged, manipulated, and ministered to my arms and hands. She has invented splints, come in on weekends, encouraged and inspired me to believe that I can make them work. Thank you is such an inadequate word for the team whose work has made it possible for me to be able to say that I will soon be back at work. And speaking of work, I am not sure how to even begin to say thank you to the AP. Through all of this, they have been so much more than my employer. The people at AP, Gary Pruitt, Kathleen Carroll, John Danishevsky, Sue Gilkey, Jessica Bruce, Vicki Cagliano, Carol Jo Yen, they have been kind and caring. Kathleen set the tone back at the beginning in Germany. Quickly seeing the need of the hour, she went out and returned with some of the finest shades of nail polish to jazz up my toes. It made me smile, but more, it made me, for a brief, wonderful moment, when I needed it most, feel normal. It has been a long haul, but every stylishly polished step of the way, the AP has been at my side, never faltering, always encouraging, always caring. After the shooting, understanding that it would be a marathon, Gary, the AP president, so kindly said, "We know it will be long, but we will be there with you and with whatever you need." And they have, and then some. And finally, I am grateful for every moment I shared with Anya. She was a gift. I miss her every day.